Alright, we need to start cleaning the sand out of this one pit here. And before we do that, we've got to run the liquid out of it. We're going to take this load pipe here off. We're going to hook up the pipe that goes to the lagoon and send this liquid to the lagoon so that they can get in here today and start cleaning up the sand that's built up in the trench that goes in underneath the barn. The sand is accumulated up in that, so we need to get in there with a skid steer and dig that out. Alright, we've got this hose hooked up here now to the pipe that goes underground, and this pipe runs right from here underground across the front of the commodity shed here. We'll kind of follow the path down to the lagoon that the pipe runs on here, and then we'll get down there. We'll get the first bit of manure coming out of the pipe. Longhorn delivering a load of sand. I like the color of that truck, green and yellow. So that pipe runs underground across the front of this commodity shed, and then we do have a 3-foot catch basin in the concrete right about here. We can get down in there and hook a blow line to it if it plugs, if in the event that it plugs. Now, this manure line runs across here, runs down over this hill, and it runs across. We're running the line that we're driving over the top of this line right where it goes through here. We had to cut the concrete here and up in front of the commodity shed. Then it runs across here. And it runs right out in behind this bunk here. The line is just in behind it, and it runs down over the hill, and then it comes out of the bunk wall, or lagoon wall here. So we'll jump down over the side here and we'll show you what that looks like when it comes through the wall here. Here it comes. But it's kind of miserable today. I was gonna put the drone up in the air and fly the path or fly the route which the manure line runs, but it's just too damn windy. So it'll take an hour or so for the lagoon to pump down, and then them guys are gonna get in there with the skid steers and start scooping the sand out. Alright, we got this down about as far as we can get it. Started to run out of liquid. You can see we're built up pretty good here with solids, good 4 feet deep or so. That tunnel there is 8 foot wide and it's 8 foot deep, to give you an idea of what we have. And then we've got the doors down a couple feet. So right now, we've got trouble with this gearbox, and we've got a new one to put on there that just came in the other day, and the bottom seal is gone. It must have a bearing gone in it somewhere. It gets up to like 270 degrees on this face plate, and then it's only getting about 130 down there. Oil runs right out of it. So we got grease that we've been dumping in it, and what we're going to do now is we're going to take this hose off of here that goes to the lagoon, and we're going to hook up this pipe here. And then what these guys are going to do is, as he gets the sand out, some of the liquid is going to start coming out of the barn, and it's kind of oozing out of the sand here now. And what he'll do is he'll signal to the truck drivers who are hauling today, and they'll stop in and get a load periodically from this pump here. So what we're going to do now, take this off, hook this pipe up, and take that cover off. Actually, I'm going to take this cover off first, and I'm going to pump in a bunch of white lithium grease. I don't know if Jared put any cornhead grease in this the other day, but I am out of cornhead grease, so we'll just pop this cover off first, push a bunch of white lithium grease in there, and see if we can't get this job done before we have to change this gearbox. Alright, as you can see, it kind of boiled all the grease out of there. And the gears are a little purple. So that one bearing on the top here, that must have a little trouble to it. But I've got the grease loader here that we use on the chopper, and we'll just push a bunch of white lithium grease in there, and we'll see if we can't get this to run the rest of the day. It doesn't look all that bad in here. It looks like we might be able to just throw a set of gears in here, or maybe just get away with throwing a set of bearings in. The splines on these two gears here, I mean, they look pretty good yet, other than this thing has just gotten hotter than you know what. However, this bearing right here, that bearing might be slightly wallered. And I don't know if I can't lift it up. It doesn't seem to have any play in it. So let's go ahead and put some white lithium grease in here. Alright, so we've got 3 tubes dumped in there. I am all out of white lithium grease too. I have a bunch of regular grease, but the white lithium grease is a lot thinner than regular grease, and I would like to pump this full of some cornhead grease too. But Wyatt's up in the tractor. We're just gonna have him turn that on quick. We'll kind of watch that go around a little bit. Just let it idle. So it's smacking it around in there. It could use some more, definitely, but that'll drop the grease down in there enough, and it'll kind of keep everything a little cool. So we'll go ahead and put the cover on this and switch the pipe over, and then these guys can pump out of it when needed. So Jason's down in here. He's already started in on loading solids out, and he's just trying to get a pathway run here now so that the liquid can run to the pump itself. Yeah, don't let it drip over the side.
That would be fun.
Alright, so we've got this pipe hooked up. Now this will load the truck again, and then we need this chain on there to keep this pipe from lifting up in the air. And everybody's going to ask, what happened to your arm? Hand?
Shutter in a gate.
That's not good, is it?
Not at all.
Broke,
amazing.
Broke his hand.
Broke right there.
Mm,
Holds my pinky.
not good. Alright, so we got a truck backing in here. We better get out of the way. Well, I just stepped out of the shop. See how these guys are doing up here. Travis is over topping off with fuel, and we'll throw the camera on the skid steer and you guys can get a look at what things look like going in under the barn here. Here. once he pulls out, we'll walk in there and we'll show you what that looks like in there. I was going to put the camera on the skid steer, but I think we can get a better visualization just by walking in there. So this is the first manure slot here. This is where the manure falls down through the floor from the alley scrapers. And then here's the next slot. And then just up in there is where the feed alley is, where the feed alley crosses. So we've got a good 5 feet in here. You know, that's coming right up to my shoulder. And there's quite a bit of sand in here. So I am in his way. So we're gonna go ahead and walk on out of here. Maybe we'll take a ride with Nate here in a minute. We've got about a half a load on there. And I gotta grab this piece of cable that I threw on the ground here. We'll take a ride down to the field with Nate. Well, it's kind of warm in here. That thermostat did the trick, huh? Mm-hmm. Got 3 bars on the temperature gauge. We just got the 7720 done. They sent the wrong gasket, so I had to make one. But oh well. So we're just gonna run down the road here, and we'll spread this load off with Nate, and then I've got to run in the barn, and I've got to shut the alley scrapers off on the other side of the barn. We call it group 1 and 2. Group 1 is towards the road, group 2 is on the opposite end, and then he's cleaning underneath group 3 and 4 right now. So we just have to go a mile down the road. Andrew's not running that other spreader just because they needed to run on the road pretty well consistently today, and didn't need to have any troubles there. Yeah. So we are right down in below. The lagoon is right there. This spreader, you have to, in order to get the floor, this is a Hydra push spreader. And in order to get the floor to move, you got to have the tailgate all the way up. And then he's got the tailgate up. Now the floor will start moving. Back when I was a kid, we had John Deere Hydra push spreaders. We had the 450s and the 455s. We couldn't get a 780 or a 785 under our manure ramp. And then once they quit making the Hydra push spreaders, when we bought our first Night V spreader, and we had to raise the ramp in what we call barn 2, our old original freestall, and that made things a lot nicer. Right in the front of those Hydra push spreaders, they leaked out manure up in the front corners, and if you had straw or something, you'd want to pack the straw down in the front corners. I also welded little pieces of flat stock on so the urine and whatever couldn't force its way down around that corner and leak out of the spreader. So we're gonna go ahead and get back up to the farm here. I'm gonna run into freestall, shut them alley scrapers off, and that is gonna do it for this video here. All right, so we just walked in the freestall here, and we are going to shut off the group 1 and 2 alley scraper here. And that is going to be that red button there. It's kind of dark in here and you really can't see too much, so we might as well walk the length of the barn here, and we'll show you where the manure drops in through the slot here. So the alley scrapers run on a cable. They just go clockwise in one direction, and once they get to the end of the run, they turn around and go counterclockwise. We've got old conveyor belting in the feed alleys here, or in the alleyways here. This is a 1-inch thick rubber. Gives a real nice surface for the cows to walk on. Saves on feet problems, leg issues, and so on. We got this one sled is almost to the slot here. This manure drops down through the slot, and then you can see the sand is right up to the bottom of the cement there. Well, we're gonna swing around backside of this barn here, walk out and around in a big circle here, and that's gonna do it for this video. I pulled that piece of 1/4-inch cable, actually it wasn't 1/4-inch cable, it was 1/8-inch cable out of that bucket load of manure. We'll have to grab that on our way by here, and we'll throw that in the trash barrel. So that is going to do it, folks. I want to thank you for watching, and we'll catch you at the next video.